All right, guys, so the last one that I showed was the rear loaded single arm cable row. And now I'm gonna show you the front loaded single arm cable row. And this one really is where you start putting it all together. You gotta get the press, the first one, in order to really get yourself into the ground. That rear loaded one really tests your ability to sit back into your heels before you get into what we're gonna do here, which is really an explosive movement going forward. So it's pretty much the same thing, but your weight is now on this forward leg. So if I've got the pulley in my left hand, I put the weight in the forward right leg. And that's this opposite arm and leg stuff that I'm always talking about. We really emphasize that because that's gait, that's athleticism. And that's what allows you to be as mobile and as free as you possibly can instead of keeping things really squared up and in line. So this is a right leg exercise. Even though a bunch of stuff is working, that's what you want to think about. Sit in fully into that right leg, feel that whole foot down. And that back leg, don't be sitting back on the heel, let that toe be up. And you reach with that left arm. This one can really smoke the glutes, and that all depends on whether you just hold that lunge position or if you end up sitting in and driving out, which is more advanced but also more athletic. So when it's now in my right arm, I put my left leg forward, and this is a left leg exercise. You sit in, reach, so just like with the cable press, you may hold it at first when you're getting steady and then you're able to kind of sit down. This one, when you front load it, you can really get pretty dynamic where you sit into the leg when you reach and come out. Notice how my fly, my inseam is rotating into the leg that I'm sitting into, and then it's rotating out of the leg that I'm sitting into. That is hip internal and external rotation. This is a great way to work it. And just like the other two, you're really going to notice how one side is very different from the other. Most human beings have a lot more capacity, or at least coordination, with their left leg leading forward. So it might feel a little different on one side versus the other, and that's normal and fine. We just don't want it to get too extreme, and we don't want it to stay too extreme. We want to kind of keep our car from drifting off the road too much. So try that on out. Front loaded single arm cable row. Let me know how it feels. Ask any questions if you got them. Regardless, hope that's helpful. Hope you're all well.